Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Krishna, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda, Namaste Saraswati Devi Gautamani, Namaste Srimati Pashtaka Deshika, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaura. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Mukam karoti vācālam yat kripātam tamam Shri Guru Devatāram Paramanandam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna. So we'll start with the introduction. उसमें कुछ गर्म नहीं रहता है, मतलब 10 मिनट में ठंडा हो जाता है इस बॉटल. This bottle is useless bottle. हाँ, you can keep it in there.
प्रभुजी इसमें रहता है रखें क्या यूज करेंगे?
Is it properly washed and not jhutha?
यस जूठा तो नहीं
So please open to page number 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. So it's 7:25, 6, 7. So we are starting 10 minutes late. Anyways, today is Ekadashi. So devotees will be kind. Okay, so I will not read much. I will stop in between to explain. So one by one, devotees can read. We start reading the introduction. So first, it is the Mangalacharya which we do. So from here only, everybody learns that Mangalacharya. Please start.
Shri Chaitanya Ishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sandhuva Kadamayam Dadati Swapadati. I was born with darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offered my respectful obeisances unto him.
Hare Krishna. Everybody has brought their Bhagavad Gita. How many of you don't have your Bhagavad Gita? From next class, can you bring? Here everybody has Bhagavad Gita. Physical copy. You have physical copy? Can you show me? It doesn't look like Bhagavad Gita.
When Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada was established within this particular world, the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya gave me shelter under his feet. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sarvanarunathan Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sarvanamita Shri Vishakhantam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and to the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Goswami along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunatha Dasa and Raghunatha Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda along with Advaita Acharya Gadadhar, Srivas and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Shri Krishna along with their associates Shri Lalita and Vishakha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Panta Jaganpati Gopeshwar Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste.
Can the volume be controlled कि कुछ नहीं हो सकता? Is that volume is too high, no? अच्छा, एक ही सिंगल कंट्रोल है, उससे ये माइक भी कंट्रोल हो जाएगा, वो भी कंट्रोल हो जाएगा। उसको थोड़ा कम करेंगे।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Can you speak something?
Oh my dear Krishna.
बोलिए
आप बोलते रहिए, please.
Oh my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distress and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis, the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances to you.
So these meanings are very important. We chant these mantras every now and then. So, very few people meditate on the meaning also. In the beginning of the Gita, the meaning is highlighted. And please pay attention to that. Especially the first mantra, Sri Chaitanya Mano Drishtam. Mano Drishtam means one who understands the mind of Lord Chaitanya. And whatever Lord Chaitanya wanted, he established in this world, and that person is Rupa Goswami, who established within this material world a mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya. So Rupa Goswami is glorified in Chaitanya Charitamrita to be able to understand what Lord Chaitanya wants. Generally, nobody understands what God wants until God tells. So Bhagavad Gita is a book where God is telling, this is what I want. Rupa Goswami is that category devotee. Understood the mind of Lord Chaitanya. So take Krishna. That is why in Nectar of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada says that this Krishna consciousness movement is being conducted under the leadership of Srila Rupa Goswami. Some words may be here and there, but this is. So, Rupa Goswami is the leader of ISKCON. Amongst all 6 Goswamis, ISKCON subscribes to Rupa Goswami completely. Continue.
I offer respect to Bhagavan, whose bodily conception is like Bhagavan, and who is the King of the world. You are the daughter of King Prashovan, and you are very great Lord Krishna.
Can we all settle down as early as possible? Please settle down. छोड़ जितना हुआ उतना प्लीज थोड़ा डिस्टर्बेंस कम होने से अच्छा प्लीज सेटल it is not vancha, it is vancha.
Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desire of everyone, just like desire tree, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura.
Kindly take note that there is no word Jai in Panchatattva mantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Jai nahi hai. It starts with Shri Krishna, even in Aarti Kirtan. You can do one research, try to find out anywhere in Prabhupada books where Jai is mentioned before the Panchatattva mantra, or Jai is mentioned before Hare Krishna. So of course you can add on your own, like they say Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Jai Hare Ram Hare Ram. You can add, उसमें कोई गलती नहीं है. I had this on a funny note. Anybody from Tamil background here? Tamil தெரியுமா? So to give respect in Tamil, they add some suffix. So when they will say Krishna, they will say Krishnar, Ramar. So some Tamil devotees, they started chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So that is an emotion, but that is not the correct mantra. You understand? Sri Ram is called Ramar. So we have to stick to what Prabhupada has written. Many people in Kirtan also, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo, Hare Hare. So where did, even in the, today I was in base, I don't know who was singing, somebody was singing. Chatur Vidha Shri Bhagavad Prasadam. Swadvanna Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha. The word prasad comes 2 times, no? No. Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasado. Yes, before that also prasad comes. Which is that verse?
Correct, Prabhuji. Chaturvidas. 2 places.
Bhagavad Prasada.
Prasada.
But everybody sings Chatur Vidhashi Bhagavad Prasado. दिखाइए.
पीछे होगा प्रभु.
ये देखो. Chatur Vidhashi Bhagavad Prasada. That becomes Prasado. I don't know why.
It is coming from Maya.
Don't blame the Dham. It is coming from some people, that's all. Mayapur se jo aata hai wo spiritual content. So where all we make mistake here?
Then Prabhuji, there also, last second paragraph, second line. Uktastatha.
People say Mahaprabhu. It is Mahaprabhu. Kirtan Nritya Gita Vaditra Madhya. Yuktasya Bhaktanscha Niyunjatopi. This line people sing the way they want. Something nonsense they will sing. Yuktasya Bhaktans Nikunjatopi. Have you heard? They say Nikunj, they will say. Chatur Vidha Shri Bhagavad Prasada. Please take note, there is no such thing as Prasad. There is no such thing as Prasad. Prasad may be your neighbor. फोन को थोड़ा साइलेंट मोड पर डाल देंगे. अगर नरेंद्र मोदी कॉल कर रहे हैं तो उठाइए वरना छोड़िए. So Prasada Swadvan Triptan Haribhakta Sangha. Vande Guroho. निकुंज योनि. यहाँ पर निकुंज है. 4th पैराग्राफ में भी निकुंज आ जाता है. और यस्य प्रसादात भगवत प्रसादो. Here O is there. There is a meaning why, reason why O is there. It's a Sanskrit suffix. It is not a Bengali suffix. And the second line is Yasya Prasadan. See the difference. First is Yasya Prasada. Second is Yasya Prasadan. 99.99% people say Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasado. Yasya Prasada Nagati. If I have the mercy of the spiritual master, I have the mercy of Radha and Krishna. If I have the mercy of the spiritual master, I have no destination. Yasya Aprasada. That is why it has become Yasya. So similarly here, Vancha, Shri Krishna, Hare Krishna, all these things have a lot of meaning. If you want more evidence, refer to the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, where one person told one syllable wrong in a mantra, as a result of which Vritrasura, demon, was born. Yes.
offer my obeisance to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Radharani, Srivasa, and all other in the land of creation.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English on the Bhagavad Gita, and one may question the necessity of another one.
Yeah. So each paragraph has a theme. The theme of this paragraph is why Prabhupada wrote this Bhagavad Gita. So that question is answered in this paragraph. But before that, what is Upanishad? And what is Gita Upanishad? Upanishad means when somebody gives confidential instructions. Nazdeek बुला के बताते हैं. Not like whispering in your ears, but that which cannot be told to unqualified people, or that which can be told very confidentially to people in a closed circle is called Upanishad. And Gita Upanishad means Gita is also at the level of an Upanishad. Very soon we will read in this introduction what is the qualification to receive the Bhagavad Gita. It cannot be just given to everyone and everyone. You cannot go to Jantar Mantar and start Bhagavad Gita. Continue.
This present edition is in the following way. Recently, an American lady asked me to recommend an English translation of Bhagavad Gita.
So in the lecture, Prabhupada names the lady also. If I'm not wrong, I heard it many years back. Lady Mont-le-Blanc. This is the name. You can just confirm it. Mont space L-E space B-L-A-N-C. Lady Mont-le-Blanc. In lecture he says, a very nice lady, she came requested me. But in the book, that name is not there.
Love. Pronunciation is love.
Sorry. L-E at the lay will be Lady Mont-le-Blanc.
French name.
Mont-le-Blanc. French lady looks like. But Claire, huh?
French pen.
Oh, अच्छा Mont-le-Blanc भी नहीं, Mont-Blanc.
हाँ, थॉट्स में वैसे हो जाता है, तो नॉट करके वैसे
Mont-Blanc. Lady. ठीक है, मुंह बोली lady जो भी है. Some lady. Generally, Prabhupada does not write names of people in his purports. There is the name of only one disciple in all purports of Prabhupada. Otherwise, he does not write names of any disciple. In foreword, he writes Nectar of Devotion. He is writing, I'm very thankful to Jayananda for sponsoring this Nectar of Devotion. Whatever. In purports, he never writes. Only one lady's name comes. Who is that lady? One disciple. Who is that lady? No. And she is the one who planted tulsi plants in the Western countries. So Prabhupada became very grateful and he said, I'm very thankful to my disciple who planted tulsi plants in the Western countries, and through her tulsi worship has started in all my temples like that. Otherwise, he does not talk of any disciples. So the name of the lady Moblan is not here.
Of course, in America, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita available in English. But as far as I have seen, not only in America, but also in India, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative, because in almost every one of them, the commentator has expressed his own opinions without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is.
So this is the reason why Prabhupada wrote it. Everywhere people have expressed his own opinions. And this was not the case only in America, but in India also. Srila Prabhupada used to refer the unlisted over the video. Srila Prabhupada used to refer the Bhagavad Gita written by Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, S. Radhakrishnan, who is the ex-president of India, जिनके नाम पर we celebrate Teachers' Day. Srila Prabhupada found that Bhagavad Gita full of Mayava. Srila Prabhupada also had a meeting with Radha Krishnan once where he directly told him this needs to be changed, this is not good. As Radha Krishnan just heard, did not argue, said thank you and went away, never changed anything. So for translation, only for the verses translations, in some lectures also he is referring to as Radha Krishnan's Bhagavad Gita. But it shows that in purport he is telling Mayava. In one lecture, in one conversation, he is telling that bring that Radha Krishnan Bhagavad Gita, and then he shows when Krishna is saying that verse is saying, Man manabhav mad bhakto madhyadi mam namaskar. Krishna is telling, always worship and become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and always think of me. So there in the purport, Radha Krishnan writes that here Krishna is, although he is using the word me, but he does not mean himself. He means the Brahman within him. So therefore we should not directly surrender to Krishna, but to the Brahman of which Krishna is made up of. This was Radha Krishnan commentary. And then Prabhupada says, he takes out some specs and he tells, give me the specs. So the other person gives him. He said, will you, when I say bring water or give me the specs, will you give the water to me or to the Brahman within me? He said, no, you are saying so, I will give it to you. So similarly, that is the meaning. Now why I am telling you all this is, it is a general rule in the Shastra. Interpretation should happen only when the meaning is not clear. For example, I am telling you, give me hot water. Any ambiguity is there in it? Give me some hot water. So no need to interpret. But if I tell you, to that person who is a part and parcel of Krishna, who is presently meditating on the sun planet, appreciating the rays and the heat of the sun, wants to taste the essence of Krishna, which is surcharged with the energy of the sun. This is a very ambiguous statement. So here you need to interpret. Kisko dena hai, kya dena hai, garam pani dena hai, kya. But when the statement is give me hot water, you don't need to interpret. So the problem which Vaishnavas have with the Nirvisheshvadis and the Shunyavadis is when there are direct statements like Man manabhav mad bhakto, just think of me. Why you are interpreting? It's very clear here. If you want to know when to interpret, read the statements of Narad Muni given to the sons of Daksha Prajapati. There Narad Muni says a puzzle. That needs interpretation. The fourth canto of Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Puranjan, discussion between Narad Muni and Prachina Barhishat. That is allegorical. That needs interpretation. Fifth canto, chapter 13 and 14, the forest of this material world. That is allegorical. That needs interpretation. But statements like give me water does not need interpretation. So, everybody, including India, people like Radha Krishnan and foreign, they unnecessarily added interpretations. So that is why Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is called. Next paragraph. Yes.
Question actually. Prabhuji, the question I have, what has been the source of Bhagavad Gita from Srila Prabhupada? Like mention about the Shri Radha Krishna, right? Who has given their opinion, the personal opinion in the Bhagavad Gita translation. If may I ask, what has been the source of the Bhagavad Gita for Srila Prabhupada to translate in the
Previous acharyas, primarily, as you see, in the second edition of Bhagavad Gita, it is written, he is very thankful to the Govinda Bhashya commentary. on Vedanta philosophy by Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is based on the commentary of Baldev Vidyabhushan. Okay. We, in the last class, we read page number, which was that page? 756. No, 756. Which explains the difference between the first edition and the second edition of Bhagavad Gita. Hmm. So those who missed the last class, how many of you missed the last class? You should read this page number 756. Then you'll understand what difference is there between first edition and second edition, and then why second edition has been chosen for this Bhakti Shastri course. In brief, Prabhupada's accent was a little difficult for people to understand. So in the initial 5 years, whatever he would say in the commentary while dictating, they were not able to understand the various references and citations and shlokas which Prabhupada would give. So, things like Arema is the leader of the Pitris. This is what Prabhupada dictated. But in the first edition, you will see it is written, Arema is the leader of the planet of the trees. So this is no one's fault. It's not Prabhupada's fault, it's not disciples' fault, it is just some difficulty. So those things have been corrected in the second edition. And many places where the original purport which is there in the dictation was not printed, that has been added. And during the first edition, Prabhupada had a group of editors. And he used to say that you edit. So one of the prominent editors at that time was His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj. So he used to edit and show to Prabhupada. And many times Prabhupada said, no need to show. You attend my lectures, make the corrections. So the same editor, Jayadvaita Maharaj, in the second edition, he has brought in some changes, added missing purports, planet of trees became with trees, all those spelling mistakes, etc. Because most of the translation in first edition is also picked up from Radhakrishna's Bhagavad Gita. Purport is Prabhupada's. Prabhupada, he himself says that I have referred to Radha. Translations are almost 80% correct, like that Prabhupada used to say. So in many cases, even while giving class, he is referring to Radhakrishna's, but that translation is not fully perfect. So for that reason, second edition has been a little bit modified. It is not a conspiracy. It is not asara prayog. Some people say that. There is a website called bbtedit.com. So whatever changes which BBT is making, for example, yesterday while reading, I found some printing mistakes in the Bhagavad Gita. So if I will write a letter to the BBT, please make these changes. So in the third edition, those changes will. So does it make me a Prabhupada Drohi? Yes or no? No. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, I refer from the Veda-based software and other people read from the book. So in the Veda-based software, one of the purport is there 5 verses ago. But in the book, it is misplaced. Out of context, it has been printed in another verse. There is no link between the verse and purport. So we could find out like that. So if I change that, will I become Asara Prayog? Like after the dismiss of the Acharya and making changes in his books? No. It is improper. That purport was meant to be here. It is printing mistake. Similarly, when Prabhupada says Pitris, but the disciples understands planets of trees, that is a serious problem. I have seen a person in one of the foreign countries where somebody was telling, just see this tree, there is a planet of trees, and the leader is Arima, it is short. And then I said, where you read? And then he showed me Bhagavad Gita. Then I realized this is printing mistake. So that is why we are choosing second edition. So please read say page number 756. Please continue reading.
The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. It is just like this. If we want to take a particular medicine, then we have to follow the directions written on the label. We cannot take the medicine according to our own will or the direction of a friend. It must be taken according to the directions on the label or the directions given by a physician.
Yeah.
Similar-
Sorry, just one more interruption. If you carefully analyze this Bhagavad Gita introduction, you will see many things are being answered. First was why Bhagavad Gita as it is. Next is how to study Bhagavad Gita. So you can make a presentation, one slide. 2-3 paragraphs can be one slide. Why Bhagavad Gita as it is. Everybody was expressing their own opinions. That's all. How to study Bhagavad Gita. You cannot study by your whims and fancies. You have to follow what Lord Krishna says. Similarly, if you just convert this entire introduction into a small presentation, that will be the best presentation to give to new people. If whether in your friend circle, family circle, corporate circle, work circle, anywhere you have to give introduction to Bhagavad Gita, just open this presentation. It's very, very nice. Somehow we don't do this. I was thinking in Gita course also we should do this. Instead of going for search for happiness, first we should bring in this. It's very powerful. That you cannot go to a shop and say, give me that green syrup. You have to show prescription and you have to take as per prescription. Similarly, even in Prabhupada books, you cannot read what you want to read and when you want to read. There is a sequence. You cannot directly jump to Chaitanya Charitamrita. First finish Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita also has to be studied. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Go by the way Krishna says. Very strong point. Continue.
Similarly, Bhagavad Gita should be taken or accepted as it is directed by the speaker himself. The speaker of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Shri Krishna. He is mentioned on every page of Bhagavad Gita as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Of course, the word Bhagavan sometimes refers to any powerful person or any powerful demigod, and certainly here Bhagavan designates Lord Shri Krishna as a great personality. But at the same time, we should know that Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as is confirmed by all great acharyas, spiritual masters like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarika Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India. The Lord himself also establishes himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita, and he is accepted as such in the Brahma Samhita and all the Puranas, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Bhagavad Purana. Krishna Stu Bhagavana Swayam. Therefore, we should take Bhagavad Gita as it is directed by the personality of Godhead himself. In the 4th chapter of the Gita, the Lord says, 1. Imam vivasvate yogam tavan aham avyayam vivasvan manavet praha manu ikshma bhavet bhavit evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduh sakalena iha bhata yogoh nashtas purattam. 3. स एव मायाते अद्य योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः भक्तो असि मे सखा चरति रहस्यं हि एतत् उत्तमम्.
Yeah. So sa evayam mayatedhya. So some people add a whenever this apostrophe comes, they say adya. Some people they join the previous word whether like mayatedhya. So that is what it means. You have to join mayatedhya. But it's a different word, adya. They are joining it as tedhya. And HY is pronounced as here. Rahasyam here etat uttamam. Continue. So we learn from this paragraph that the word Bhagwan can be used for various people. Therefore, in Bhagavatam, you will say Bhagwan Narada, Bhagwan Brahma, Bhagwan Shiva. Sometimes you call your manager as Bhagwan. But who's supreme personality of Godhead? Param Bhagwan Bhagwan Shri Krishna. How do you say this? Arjuna is saying, great acharyas are saying, Krishna himself is saying.
Here, the Lord informed Arjuna that this system of yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, was first spoken to the sun god, and the sun god explained it to Manu, and Manu explained it to Ikshvaku, and in that way, by disciplined succession, one speaker after another, this yoga system has been coming down. But in the course of time, it has become lost. Consequently, the Lord has to speak it again, this time to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
So, how old is Bhagavad Gita? When did it begin? But according to Imam Vivasvate Yogam,
Sun god.
2 million years. How did you come at that number?
First time from like Lord Krishna spoke to Sun God, Vivaswan,
Yeah.
and then it was transferred.
No, that we understand. 2 million, how you came there?
I read it chapter 4.
But what is
Chapter
it?
4.
2 million was basically
So
2 crore years ago.
Hey, these lakhs.
20 lakh साल पहले.
120 million, 4 lakh.
How are you coming at this number?
4.5.
120 million,
4 lakh.
4 lakh. बताइए.
120.4.
ये difference of opinion कैसे हो रहा है? उधर 220.
years ago, first Manu spoke the Bhagavad Gita to his disciple.
But he is telling 120 million.
Total. So in the end, our rough estimate is that the Gita was spoken at least 120.4 million years ago.
When is this point? What time are we talking about? When is this time? Which is that reference? So you should understand that this is the 7th Manvantara going on. There are 14 Manvantaras in one day of Brahma. Presently we are in the 7th Manvantara, 28th Chatur Yuga cycle. Lord Ram came in the 24th Chatur Yuga cycle, not just 7,000 years ago, as the articles and novels and the movies they say. So in the beginning of this Manvantara, or if not in the beginning, in one of the Chatur Yugas of this Manvantara. Now, it will be a subject matter of research to find out when, in which Chatur Yuga of this Manvantara was the Bhagavad Gita spoken. Subject matter for research. Ideal assumption is that in the beginning of this Manvantara, that means 28 Chatur Yuga cycles ago. So I think that brings a number much greater than 120 million. So we have to read other Puranas to understand when did sun god receive this. Just for some mathematical devotees. Or the least estimate can be in the beginning of this Chatur Yuga cycle. Or maybe the previous Chatur Yuga cycle. So in that way we have to map and find out. But we definitely need references from other Puranas. Srila Prabhupada, when he's writing the Bhagavad Gita, many things he writes so that people can understand easily. The Sapt Mahadvipas of the Bhumandala. They are not 7 continents. But in purport, Srila Prabhupada, just for easy understanding, he writes the 7 continents. But if you actually understand, so many things Prabhupada wrote just for easy understanding. Sometimes Prabhupada easily uses the word universe, or he uses the word world. Varahadev lifted the world. But Varahadev has actually lifted Bhumandala only. And Prabhupada knows this. But how to explain this to the Western audience? The whole structure of Vedic cosmology is difficult to explain. So sometimes the Acharya chooses to use words which are easily understandable. So if he says at least 120 million years ago, does he mean exactly 120 million years ago? At least 120 million. The exact number could be 120, 100 million also. But at least 120. So subject matter for research. When was the Bhagavad Gita actually spoken? Hint, refer to Vishnu Purana and find out. Continue reading.
He tells Arjuna that he is revealing the supreme secret to him because he is his devotee and his friend. The purport of this is the Bhagavad Gita is guys, which is especially meant for the devotee of the Lord. There are classes of transcendentalists, namely the Jnani, the Yogi, and Bhakta, or the impersonalist, the meditator, and the devotee. Here the Lord clearly tells Arjuna that he is making him the first receiver of a new parampara disciplic succession because the old succession was broken. It was the Lord's wish, therefore, to establish another parampara in the same line of thought that was coming down from the sun god to others. And it was his wish that his teaching be distributed anew by Arjuna. He wanted Arjuna to become the authority in understanding the Bhagavad Gita.
So this is an important line. He wanted Arjuna to become authority in understanding the Bhagavad Gita. So what we should do, if Arjuna is the authority, what we should do?
We should follow Arjuna.
We should follow Arjuna. Following Arjuna means what?
We should surrender like him.
Sarvam etat tamanye. Arjuna says, whatever you say, I accept as the complete truth. If we are not coming to this understanding, we are not accepting the authority of Arjuna. Some rascals may say that Arjuna himself was an illusion. He was having so many personal difficulties. I don't have those difficulties. So therefore, I will not follow Arjuna. So you will see later on in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Arjuna, being an associate of Krishna, never had any difficulty. By the will of Krishna, Arjuna was put into that situation. And that was not Maya, that was influence of Krishna. Please take note that whatever Krishna wants to do, he does with his pure devotees. If he wants to take water, he will take from his pure devotee. If he wants to lie down, he will lie down on the lap of his pure devotee. If he wants to tell Bhagavad Gita, he will put his pure devotee only in India. If he wants to kill someone, he will kill some pure devotee. Or somebody who has some legacy of Bhakti. For example, this Shishupal, Dantavakra, these are not ordinary people. Krishna will not kill you. Your karma will kill you. But whatever he has to do, whether it is Sankirtan or whether it is Mahabharata, he will only do with his pure devotees. And the pure devotees will act like they are bewildered. Why they act like that? So that the human society can relate to them. Continue.
So we see that Bhagavad Gita is instructed to Arjuna especially because Arjuna was a devotee of the Lord, a direct student of Krishna and his intimate friend. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is best understood by a person who has qualities similar to Arjuna's. That is to say that he must be a devotee in a direct relationship with the Lord. As soon as one becomes a devotee of the Lord, he also has a direct relationship with the Lord. That is a very elaborate subject matter, but briefly it can be stated that a devotee is in a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in one of 5 different ways. Number one,
Number one may be devotee in a passive state. Number two, one may be devotee in an active state. Number three, one may be a devotee as a friend. Number four, one may be a devotee as a parent. Number five, one may be a devotee as a conjugal lover.
Which one do you want to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? He chooses 2. अब क्या choose कर रहे हैं?
The friend.
3 में है. 3 में है. How many want 3? Please raise your hand.
And then we select.
How many want 2? चलेगा. How many want 4? Parent बनेंगे भगवान को. हमारे लाला है. 5 तो everybody will. है ना? How many of you want 5? Nobody wants 5. People are fallen conditions. Aspiration is only weak. So the answer is we cannot want things in devotional life. You have to just practice bhakti as taught by Srila Prabhupada, and the rasa will be revealed to us. Right now, we are like pigs. Pigs cannot aspire to get inside the altar. First, we have to clean the filth. You know what is active state meaning? One who always remembers Krishna and one who never forgets Krishna. Do you remember Krishna for 1 hour a day or 1 minute a day? Especially when you go to work, 12 hours when you work, remember him? Are you an active devotee?
I understand Prabhuji. Active means you can work as a Krishna is
ಆಕರ ಇಲ್ಲ. Active ಅಂದ್ರೆ always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. That kind of devotee can be considered as active devotee. Actually, I'm telling wrong. Passive devotee means always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, but not doing anything for Krishna. Active means always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, and always doing something for Krishna. For Krishna. Directly and only and exclusively for Krishna. Third means one who is never forgetting Krishna, always remembering Krishna, always doing something only and exclusively for Krishna, but to give better satisfaction to Krishna, he has become a friend of Krishna to serve Krishna. Don't be in any illusion. I'm going to make a very controversial statement. Some people say, I'll just chant 16 rounds, I'll go back to God. Some people say, I'll chant 16 rounds and do 4 regulated principles, I'll go back to God. So therefore, today, I want to, because this rasa concept has come up, so I want to show you what is the actual reality. Prabhupada is very kind. It is there in Baldev Vidya Bhushan's purport. That being kind, Prabhupada writes it in very simple words. But what is the reality? There are 3 kinds of people on this path of bhakti. We are not talking about karmis and jnanis. We are talking only about people who are on the path of bhakti. Three categories. Is it coming?
Yes.
What are you seeing? Some people see the dog. అదే 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 ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಸ. So I'm reading the commentary of this is Kindle. I have got that. Baldev Vidyabhushan's. Yeah. I will read this. Three methods of attaining the Lord. This is there in the introduction, but Prabhupada writes it in a very sweet way. Baldev Vidyabhushan is not sweet person. Okay. Seeing the last paragraph only, you will realize. I'll read the last paragraph. One who has faith in the scripture. How many of you have faith in Bhagavad Gita? Who is steady in following the path of dharma and has conquered his senses is qualified for this scripture. So those who have conquered their senses and those who have faith in the scripture and who are steadily following the path of dharma. Dharma means 7th chapter, shloka number 28. What is that? First line, tell me. Yeshan tva antagatam papam. Those who have given up all sinful activities. They are dharmic. They are following the path of dharma and have conquered their senses. They are called adhikari. Now there are three kinds of adhikaris. First is called sanishtha. There are three tracks of spiritual life. This is there everywhere in the purports of Prabhupada, but Prabhupada simply does not use the technical term as sanishtha, paranishtita, and nirapeksha. Prabhupada puts it in different, easy to understand language. But Baldev Vidyabhushan is a strict acharya. He's telling you clearly. Please don't blame me for reading Baldev Vidyabhushan because the whole book is translated on the commentary of Baldev Vidyabhushan. There are three kinds of adhikaris. First is called sanishtha. What he does? Performs his prescribed duties of his varna as a form of worship of Hari with a desire to see Swargaloka. They want to improve the material conditions in their life. They are not doing things to please Krishna, but they are doing Sarva Krishna Arpanamastu. They do whatever they want. In the end, they give 1%, 2% to Krishna. They are also devotees, but they are Sanishtha devotees. Generally, such devotees go back to Godhead in 1000, 2000 lifetimes. Maybe. And in every lifetime, they chant 16 months. Next, the second type is called Paranishtita. Follows this prescribed duties just to set an example for others. Matlab, he is not interested in all that. Whatever Varna Dharma and Ashram Dharma which he is doing, he is not interested. His heart is not in it. He is just doing it to set an example. He does not want to enjoy the results of those activities. He does it in a disinterested and an obligatory way. Given an option, he would not like to do it. Like Maharaj Yudhishthira. Krishna wanted him to rule, so he was ruling. As soon as Krishna disappeared, to hell with this kingdom, to hell with my wife, to hell with everybody. Parikshit को king बनाओ, हम निकलेंगे. Parinishthita. Such devotees, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, generally always within 3 lifetimes go back to Godhead. But आपको क्या चाहिए? One lifetime. तो उसके लिए पढ़ लो क्या है requirement. The second type, called Parinishthita, follows his prescribed duties to set an example for others, at the same time engages in bhakti to the Lord. These two types also follow the rules of their particular ashram. The third type is called Nirapeksha, whose heart has been purified by austerities, japa, truthfulness and other actions, is absorbed in only worshipping Hari, performing only bhakti, not following varna duties. He does not follow the duties of any ashram. So this is the third track, which is called the Nirpeksha track. This is the kind of preaching which Prabhupada did. From day one, he was making people nirapekshas. Doesn't matter whose son you are, whose daughter you are, just join. Shave up your head. Become Brahmacharya. Earlier, when people used to join, first day only saffron. And if you can continue, very good. If your mind is distracted, ठीक है, we will supply you one wife. This is the language of Prabhupada. Supply him a wife. In the letters he writes like that. So one day one brahmachari goes, I'm feeling very lonely, not happy. Prabhupada said, what do you want? I don't know. Okay. One girl was going, get married to her. That's how Prabhupada used to work. So he always wanted, and after marriage also what he told? Stay in temple. There is a description how Grihasthas used to stay in Prabhupada's temple. There used to be one room with no beds. Just like in hospital, they put one curtain between two beds. No? Like that they used to put. That's all. That was Grihastha. But then when things were not working out, then Prabhupada said, okay, those who are creating problems, go out, stay out with your family. But 50% you have to give to me. This was the last level of sanction by Prabhupada. That is Nirapeksha. Beyond this, Prabhupada did not do preaching. Others are doing, we don't know. But this is what Prabhupada wanted. Prabhupada never encouraged people to, do all nonsense in the name of bhakti. He really wanted to be people. Actually, in the last 20 years, many things, 30 years, many things have changed in ISKCON. The word devotee was not valid for those who are not staying in temple, those who are not fully dedicated. Devotee means one who is devoted. One who comes for Sunday feast cannot be called as a devotee. In the last 30 years, now a kid is also a devotee, a congregation member is also a devotee, a donor is also a devotee, a politician visiting the Rath Yatra is also a devotee. This is the dilution which has happened in ISKCON. Earlier, during Prabhupada's times, devotee means one who serves 24/7 at the Nirapeksha platform to Krishna, under the control of the spiritual master, even for sex life. If somebody wants a child, they have to take permission from Srila Prabhupada. That too, once Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, one couple approached, we want to have a child, we want your permission. He said, yes, you have my permission, but go outside Vrindavan. Vrindavan is not meant for illicit sex life also. Forget about illicit. Dham, you cannot have any sex. If you want child, go outside Vrindavan, unite, but before uniting, chant 50 rounds, do Gardan, and then come back and serve. And I will take care of your child. This is the bhakti which Prabhupada taught. And this Nirapeksha track leads to back to God in one life. Other tracks, they give you what you deserve. Now, Prabhupada has written sufficiently about it in all his purports. How to implement it, you are intelligent enough to read and understand. We do not encourage premature renunciation. We encourage systematic reading of Srila Prabhupada's books and understand over a period of time what is the difference between karma, jnana and bhakti. And in bhakti also there is pradhanibhuta bhakti, gunadbhuta bhakti and kevala bhakti. Which one Prabhupada recommends, how to come to that platform, slowly, slowly come up. Don't be in any illusion that I will chant 16 rounds. 3 regulative principles or 3.5 or maybe 4, I'll follow. I'll give some donation and go look. So this illusion I want to break. These are the 3 tracks of spiritual life. Let's read this fully. And then we'll go back to Prabhupada's purport. Please hold on to it. The 3 methods of attaining the Lord are karma, jnana and bhakti. Karma is regarded as an authorized method because it assists jnana and bhakti in purifying the heart. Through the performance of prescribed actions with the renunciation of doership and renunciation of the promised fruits of actions. And thus it brings attainment to the Lord gradually. So here Prabhupada is talking, here Baldev Vidyabhushan is talking about Nishkama Karma Yoga, where you are doing it and you give up the doership mentality, you give up all the results of those activities, then it will purify your heart. Then you will become a candidate for Jnana and Bhakti. Till now you are not a Jnani, you are a Karmi only. Recently I called someone a Karmi, they took offense. Being a Karmi is a glorious thing actually. You give up the results of your actions and don't have doership mentality. It's a glorious thing to be. Actually, we are worse than karmis. The duties prescribed by the Shrutis in the process of Karma Yoga are devoid of violence. That is the main element in them. In the Moksha Dharma, Mahabharat Shanti Parv, in the discussion between the father and the son, the method of karma characterized by non-violence is regarded as secondary because of its indirect nature, whereas the other 2 methods are more direct. You will not understand all this, just listen. A question may arise if one performs karma. Now you should appreciate how much simplification Prabhupada has done. A question may arise if one performs karma and purifies the heart. Then with the appearance of jnana, one will get liberation. What then is the speciality of bhakti? It is said that jnana indeed is bhakti. Many people immaturely they say jnana alag hai, bhakti alag hai. So it is said jnana indeed is bhakti with some specialization. Jnana is the search for the Lord by conceiving Him as the form of knowledge itself. Different from those persons who see the Lord, the personal Lord, with an unblinking vision or sidelong glance. It leads to salokya and other types of liberation. Bhakti, however, directly searches out, in that sense, a type of knowledge, the Lord as the shelter of rasa and variegated pastimes. Now, when we're talking about active devotee, passive devotee, friend devotee, that is when Bhagavan realization comes. By bhakti, one attains the ultimate goal of bliss from serving the Lord, which includes salokya and other benedictions within it. The fact that bhakti has the status of jnana is shown in Shruti. The Lord resides in Bhakti Yoga, which is his one dear object of affection, composed of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Gopal Tapani Upanishad. We see that Jnana is equivalent of Shravana Bhava, and other elements of Bhakti. One should recognize that Jnana takes the forms of hearing and other elements of Bhakti, just as one lock of Vishnu's hair represents Vishnu, who is filled with knowledge and bliss. Basically, here it is being said that Jnana refers to those, a Jnani may be doing Shravana, a Jnani may be doing Kirtana, a Jnani may be doing Japa, a Jnani may be worshipping the Lord also. But he is not attracted to the Lord. He respects the Lord, he knows about the Lord. He is offering bhoga to the Lord because someone has asked him to offer, or he has read in the Shastra that if I offer, then I will attain auspiciousness. The Lord is the bhoga purifying machine, so I should offer and then eat to remain karma free. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 says, I am eating verily sin, so I am dharmic, I should offer. That is the Vedic way to eat. But he is not offering because he is attracted to Krishna. He did not cook because he is attracted to Krishna. That is the difference between a bhakta and a jnana. Baldev Devotion explains the difference is Vishnu's hair represents Vishnu. It has all qualities of Vishnu, but it is not Vishnu. But at the same time, it is Vishnu. That is the subtle difference between Jnana and Bhakti. So therefore, in general, Prabhupada explains Jnanis as impersonalist. Those who are not attracted to the personal form of the Lord. Those who are attracted to Brahman, or those who, like the four Kumaras, they were attracted to the Brahman. All the people who meditate, they are attracted to Brahman. They know Krishna, but they are attracted to the Vishwarupa of Krishna. So Prabhupada concludes that Jnani is either impersonalist or Brahmavadi, Mayavadi or Brahmavadi. That is Prabhupada's conclusion to help us understand easily, which is not wrong, which is 100% correct. That means they are not attracted to the personality. The Gita is divided into three groups of 6 chapters. In the first 6 chapters, the Jiva and Amsha of the Lord is shown to have a Swarupa to be employed in the devotion of the Lord, the Amshi, the source of the Jiva. The first 6 chapters show the realization of the nature of the Jiva is accomplished by Nishkam Karma, which contains within it Jnana. Nishkam Karma, when it attains perfection, one loses the doership mentality, one's heart is purified by transcendental knowledge. Then Jnana starts rising. Nishkam Karma is the path, stepping stone to Jnana. In the middle 6 chapters, this bhakti means attaining the Lord, who is the source of the jiva, the supreme object of attainment, along with the revelation of the Lord's powers is explained. Basically, Avidheya, how to attain that Lord, is obtained in 6 chapters. In the last 6 chapters, the real nature of the Lord and other items which were previously mentioned are described in detail. Now, why did Krishna keep bhakti in the middle? Why not towards the end? Or why not in the beginning only? Because the first 6 chapters are Nishkam Karma, mostly. The last 6 chapters are basically talking more about the Lord, that is giving some kind of jnana aspect about the Lord. But how to really do bhakti is in the middle 6 chapters. So these middle 6 chapters, they are connected to karma also, and they are connected to jnana also. Now when a jnani does whatever he has to do along with bhakti, then his jnana attains perfection. When a nishkam karma yogi, when he does his nishkam karma, which Prabhupada calls as devotional service in the Bhagavad Gita, when he does it along with practicing Kevala Bhakti or the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, then his devotional service attains perfection. Meaning to say, without the touch of bhakti, karma cannot become perfect, jnana cannot become perfect. Karma is alive because of bhakti. Jnana is alive because of bhakti. So these middle 6 chapters, they are giving life to karma and jnana. That is why Krishna has put it in the middle. Have you opened a jewel box? So in the middle, the jewel is there. That is why the jewel box has some value. And Baldev Devotion also says that on the jewel box, there is an inscription. The inscription is Sarva Dharman Parityajya. So bhakti is there, the main thing, surrounded by karma and jnana. And the theme of this jewel box is सब कुछ छोड़ के मेरी शरण में आ जाओ please. That means give up karma, give up jnana. Practice Kevala Bhakti.
Even in a burger, so the actual thing is in the middle.
I would disagree. Because one would not eat the burger with only the middle thing. जो लोग बर्गर बनाते हैं उनसे पूछिए बिना ब्रेड के बेच सकते हैं क्या? So therefore, burger example is the example to show the misery of this world. एक बार खाया है, दूसरी बार खाने की हवस है, और उसको खाने के लिए ऊपर में इतना मिजरी, नीचे में इतना मिजरी, मिलता है बस खाली एक चीज का स्लाइस. So burger example is given to give the misery of this material world, and that cannot be compared to the jewel of heaven. Very good try. But you can disagree with me, you can argue with me.
Yeah, it's more than a cheese flight actually. Aloo patty also.
कुछ भी है. Middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita will end the search for happiness. But your burger, you know what it will do. And just to eat that burger, so much big mouth you have to open it. And after eating, what will happen? Next day, next to next day, बहुत कुछ होता है. So it's not a good example to teach Bhagavad Gita. It's a burger is the example to show the misery of the material world. One who has faith. Which one? All 3 groups of chapters have indications of karma, jnana and bhakti, but by predominance of the subjects of these chapters, they have been described here. At the end of the Gita, there is a statement of bhakti in the form of complete surrender. This is Sarva Dharman Parityajya. This is like a short inscription written on the top of the jewel box, indicating its contents. Uske baad, Baldev Devotion is telling Sanishtha, Parinishthita, Nirapeksha. Kindly take note, directly, always Prabhupada has taught Nirapeksha Bhakti. Many followers of Prabhupada or many pseudo-followers of Prabhupada, they have brought in other versions of Bhakti. But let's be serious. Prabhupada always says, chant Hare Krishna 24/7. Did he say 2 hours? Now 24/7 means how you'll chant. You have to chant 24/7. Don't you see that all the instructions of Srila Prabhupada seem very impractical to our present lifestyle? Our old man didn't understand what we really wanted. He put Krishna in the center. We want we to be in the center and God to be our order supplier. But no, that is not Nirpeksha Bhakti. So therefore, in ISKCON, we should be very clear. Now, whatever you read in Baldev Devotion's purport, the same thing, this is Introduction to Bhagavad Gita by Baldev Devotion. The same thing Prabhupada has also written, but in an easy to understand way. But it is so easy that people miss it. Srila Prabhupada says, Bhakti process is so simple that one may miss it. Now the same things, without using the words Nirapeksha, Sanishtha, and Parinishthita, without using these technical terms, the same thing Prabhupada will read now. Did you appreciate this, what I did? Now you'll understand what is the value of Prabhupada's books. Many people artificially jump to previous acharyas as if they have done something which Prabhupada has not given us. No, we are not qualified. I did this exercise just to show you that the same thing is presented by Prabhupada in a way which you can understand. You can never understand what is Nirapeksha and Paranishti. If we present this to you in Bhagavad Gita, probably you will say, I will read Skanda Puran. नहीं बनना है निरपेक्ष. जय माता दी. Okay. And if you want to be more strict, read Bhakti Vinod Thakur's. This is Rasik Ranjan Vidwan Ranjan commentary of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He does not explain as much as Baldev Vidya Vishnu's. Those persons who has, this is Bhakti Vinod Thakur, those persons who has controlled his senses and fixed in the proper dharma with faith is qualified for this sculpture. There are three types of qualified persons: Sanishta, Paranishta, Nirapeksha. A person who faithfully performs his Swadharma. First of all, Swadharma, many people are not doing. In the form of worshipping the Lord while having a desire to see Swargaloka is Sanishta. One may say, हम तो नहीं जाना चाहते हैं, हम तो direct गोलोक जाना चाहते हैं. But I want material happiness in this life. So where do you think you'll end up? A person who is absorbed in serving bhakti while performing Swadharma with the desire to teach people is Paranishthita. This is a preacher. A preacher comes to this platform to preach. Both accept ashramas. A person whose heart has been purified by truth, austerity, and japa, etc., who is fully devoted to the Lord and without ashram is Nirapeksha. This is Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So you see, all the acharyas are using these three tracks of spiritual life: Sanishta, Paranishthita, Nirapeksha. Now, very interestingly, hopefully this video will never go out. Very interestingly, the Madhva line teaches you Sanishta Bhakti, because it teaches you to become servants of the senior devotees. And when they say senior devotees, they mean the demigods. That is why demigods, that is why in all their altars you will see demigods. You go to Udupi, other than the Udupi temple, everywhere else in Udupi, you will have various demigods. So when they say Hari Sarvottama Vayu Jivottama, they actually want to, they say, what nonsense is this? You are not qualified, you are a sense gratifier. You can't live without a burger and you want to go to Goloka? Nonsense. If you are dying and if you see a Mahaprasad Rasgulla, probably you will take birth again to eat that Mahaprasad Rasgulla. You want to go for Goloka? Just serve senior devotees and learn some Vaishnava etiquette from them. First become a servant of Yamaraj. First become a servant of Vayudev. See their glorious qualities. That is their mood. They say first deserve, then desire. Which is practical. So therefore they do not appreciate his ISKCON devotees. Especially when they see brahmacharis like me, they're like, he should have served his parents. He should have finished the Pitir Rina by producing children. What nonsense. He's given up everything. Actually, many have told me also secretly. Get married, take house near a temple, serve 4 hours in the temple, go and work in a dharmic way. In this way, you realize the various stages of like that. They have told me also. That is Sanishta mark. 99% people in ISKCON are on this mark. They want to chant Hare Krishna also, and they want to be happy in this Dukhalayam also. Next is the Paranishthita Marg. Very interestingly, it completely coincides with the Ramanuja Marg. In Ramanuja Sampradaya, there are descriptions given that if you do not spend at least 8 hours serving the Lord in the temple, we don't want to see your face. This kind of discussions happen in Ramanuja Sampradaya. This is very close to the Paranishthita description. कि कम से कम 8 घंटा तो भगवान को दो. 8 घंटा सो जाओ, टॉयलेट करो, खाओ, जो करना है करो, give to your body. 8 घंटा you do your profession, whatever you want to do. 8 घंटा you give to sadhana and seva. Imagine if any temple president says that 8 hours of your life you have to give to Krishna, they'll ban him. Ban करेंगे कि नहीं? This is very close to the Paranishthita mark. But interestingly, Srila Prabhupada never talks about either Sanishtha or Paranishta. He only says 24/7. वो खाली कहने के लिए. There's no reality in it. But actually there is reality. Prabhupada means every word. That is the Nirapeksha Marg. And you want to go to Goloka. And we are at the Sanishta platform. How will we go to Goloka? Joke है क्या? हलवा है क्या? आए हलवा खाए चले गए गोलोक निकाल. All nonsense I'm doing in my life as a brahmachari, as the Vanprastha sannyasi, and I want to go to Goloka. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that those devotees who give at least 1/3 of the time every day in their life, it is almost confirmed that within 3 lifetimes they will go back. But we want to go back in. ऐसा कुछ करना भी पड़ेगा ना. इंटेंस भक्ति का मतलब यही होता है, तीव्रेण भक्ति योगिनी. So we have to do it step by step. अब जो हुआ सो हुआ. Why I am reading all this? Because this is Bhakti Shastri. Don't be an illusion that I'll do Bhakti Shastri and I'll go back to Bhagavad. Okay? Okay, let's read the purport again, the original purport of Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna was a relationship with the Lord and therefore, of course,
Now do you understand what is the meaning of relationship? Arjuna was a Nirapeksha devotee. He had no other doing other than serving Krishna. Krishna wanted him to rule, Krishna wanted him to fight, so he was doing it as a disinterested, obligatory duty. But internally he was a Nirapeksha. He was looking like a Parinishtita. Definitely not a Sanishta. But internally he was a Nirapeksha. Otherwise, how chapter 17, first canto, Pandavas retire timely, how did that happen? It couldn't have happened. They did not live for one day also to do their prescribed duties for dharma in the absence of Krishna. There is no meaning of Swadharma in the absence of Krishna for Pandavas. Do you understand their mood? Chapter 17, Bhagavad Gita, sorry. Bhagavad, first canto. Pandavas retired timely. Many senior devotees never retire on it. So this is what I'm trying to explain. Please don't mind me explaining all this. Now we'll continuously read. So, yes, only questions now for the next 5 minutes. After that, we'll take a break. उसके बाद marathon introduction खत्म करना है. Next, चलिए. First, one second. First, somebody had question. I asked to hold to the questions. It was you. Okay, please ask.
3 categories: Sanishta, Parinishta, and Nirapeksha.
परिनिष्ठित.
Okay.
यहाँ भी गड़बड़ कर ली है. परिनिष्ठित. Many places it is in Swanishtha also and Sanishtha also. Sanishtha, Parinishthita, Nirapeksha. Yes, please.
In case of Sanskrit, the devotee wants to do Bhakti petition or we want to do Swarga. But at the same time, it's mentioned that he's worshipping Hari.
Yes.
God Krishna or Krishna. So as Krishna says, or when deputation we gave Bhagavad Gita, if we are worshipping the demigods, and it's like a business. If we are worshipping Krishna, then it's like a caring father. If we are
Caring?
father,
Yeah.
so if we are worshipping Hari, Lord Hari, then definitely Krishna should guide that going to the Swarga Loka is not the only
Who
way.
should guide?
Krishna himself.
He should guide.
Right.
Yeah,
That is the expectation.
provided you are ready to take the guidance of Krishna.
But again, Prabhuji, we give an example. If he goes to the soul and he asks for cigarette.
Yeah, see, your worshipping Krishna does not mean that the best thing which you have done is you have started worshipping Krishna. But progress in bhakti does not happen simply by your worship to Krishna. You have to desire the progress also. Your attitude should be right also. If you are cultivating so many material desires and at the same time chanting Hare Krishna, it will not help you. You will lose taste in chanting. Nothing is automatic, sir.
Agree, nothing about it. But again, Prabhuji, not again, go to guide them.
Baldev Devotion is guiding you. That this is the kind of life. You see, let's not be duplicitous. Let's follow what Prabhupada says. When Prabhupada says 24/7 bhakti, are we doing it? तो फिर कैसे भक्ति मिलेगी? You think Goloka is a joke? Until you practice 24/7 bhakti and until you are completely dependent on Krishna. See, some people read Paramahamsa literature like Srimad Bhagavatam, but they do not have a Paramahamsa lifestyle. Some people read Paramahamsa literatures like Bhagavatam, but they do not have a Paramahamsa lifestyle. They are not completely dependent, exclusively dependent on Krishna. तो क्या होगा? स्वर्ग ही जाएंगे. महर लोग, तप लोग, जन लोग कहीं तो जाएंगे. ऐसे लोगों का क्या होगा? Krishna will, how will he guide? You are not taking the guidance. Now what Narad Muni is saying, you're not listening. What Kapil Dev is saying, you're not listening. What Rishabh Dev is saying, you're not listening. You have your own watered down version of bhakti. तो फिर स्वर्ग ही तो जाना पड़ेगा.
Krishna is guiding through parampara.
But guidance ले लो ना. हाँ, guidance लेने पर होगा ना फायदा. Guidance ले ही नहीं. There are, why this is their discussion? Because there are many people, despite reading the Bhagavad Gita 1000 times, they do not agree to follow it. That is why this Anishtha path is there. I personally know so many people who understand the whole philosophy, but they say, I need time. I'm okay with these so many words. This method is called Krama Mukti. They say, I'm fine with Krama Mukti. What's wrong with Krama Mukti? And I say, there is nothing wrong with Krama Mukti. At least you are making progress. There is nothing wrong with Krama Mukti. आज इधर हैं, कल थोड़ा मार लोग जाएंगे, फिर थोड़ा स्वर्ग लोग जाएंगे, थोड़ा सब जगह भक्ति करेंगे. Oh, sorry. I'll do it. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. If a Jivatma has desires, how can he nullify his desires? He is not ready to practice Tivraya Bhakti, intense devotional service. His desires cannot go. He will be a duplicate. Instead of becoming a Mithyachari, it is better that he is honest, sincere, humble, and accepting that, yes, I want Maya. चाहिए मेरे को. I want it. I want this burger. That's it. ये प्रसाद है प्रभु. I want it. There's nothing wrong with it. At least he's not eating the onion pakoda outside. See, developing or reduction of material desires is not a joke. That is why Krishna has told the whole Bhagavad Gita to make a materialist into a devotee. But वो होता नहीं इतनी जल्दी. Please understand this point. मजाक नहीं है.
I guess I have answered. You're saying the devotee will be getting the guidance, but
He's not ready to take it fully. जिस दिन वो fully कर लिया, like Prabhupada says, 1 minute it takes to surrender. In 1 minute you can, like Khatwang Maharaj, in 48 minutes he went back to Godhead. वैसा बनिए तो पहले. बनने की इच्छा नहीं है, बनना चाहते नहीं है. Why? Due to self-created responsibilities. I'm sorry, I speak very straightforward, but this is what you will see in the introduction also. Any other questions? Don't beat about the bush round and round. ऐसा क्यों, वैसा क्यों? I don't know क्यों. This is what the acharyas are saying. This is what Prabhupada is saying.
Prabhuji, you told that the Nirpeksha devotees, they don't need to follow the asana.
Yeah.
But brahmachari is itself as an ashram. Brahmachari ashram.
Yeah.
And according to Srila Prabhupada teachings,
Brahmacharis are nirapekshas? No.
I mean, they are trying to.
Nirapeksha means people like the gopis, who give up everything to serve Krishna. Nirapeksha means Kunti Maharani, who is praying, cut off my bondage from the Pandavas as well as the Vishnus. So brahmachari is also an ashram, especially the present day see, the varnashram definition of brahmachari is something different. A brahmachari, the way ISKCON has, this is not brahmachari ashram. This is a hybrid version which Prabhupada has created. Essentially, brahmacharis are different. Only boys can become brahmacharis. Women can never be brahmacharis. Women can only be chaste wife. So any woman who says, I will become brahmacharini, or I will become Brahmit Kumari, or क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Or any yellow babas who are giving sannyas to women, it is all non-bona fide. It is not possible, it should not be done, it is adharmic to do that. There is a reason why the Jivatma has a female. That reason cannot be ignored. What I was saying? Yeah. So a brahmachari, first of all, male-bodied souls should be trained within the age 5 to till the puberty comes, 13. Till that age, they should be strictly trained to see every woman as mother. And they should, whether they are prince or whether they are from Haldiram's family or whoever they should just serve the spiritual master like a menial servant. At the age of 14, the spiritual master will analyze what is the varna of this boy. Then they will say, okay, you take to scriptures, you take to martial arts, you take to business, you are good for nothing, you just do what I say. That is brahmachari ashram. And after that, after getting trained, those who are exceptional, the Guru says, you stay with me for the rest of your life. But 80 to 85% of these brahmacharis who have been trained in the Guru, they used to go back and accept Grihastha. What Prabhupada has made is the exceptional category which the Acharyas used to keep. For those who are called as Naishtika. So to Naishtika brahmacharis, the rules of brahmachari ashram also were not applicable. The rules of brahmachari ashram means you have to wear a tree bark, you have to mat your hair, you have to never eat any hot food, you have to eat only once a day, you cannot take salt. Once I went to my village, they said, Swamiji, namak khate. So why these rules and regulations are given? There are 5 kinds of brahmacharis also. Savutra brahmachari, Prajapati brahmachari, one who becomes a brahmachari for 3 days, one who brahmachari becomes for 1 year, one who becomes a brahmachari for 12 years, one who becomes a brahmachari for whole life. So there are rules and regulations of brahmachari ashram. But those who are completely dedicated to the service of Guru, they are in the category of Nirapeksha. They cannot be called as brahmacharis as such. They can be called as Shuddha Vaishnava. Because the rules and regulations of brahmachari ashram, they don't need to follow. Did you understand? We don't know the rules and regulations according to varnashram. What is a brahmachari? What is a sannyasi? So Nirapeksha means they have gone to that platform. For example, Madhavendra Puri, in Nectar of Devotion, you will read, he is praying, please forgive me, I cannot have bath 3 times a day. Please forgive me, I cannot chant my Gayatris 3 times a day. Please forgive me, I cannot travel and preach. What to do? Whenever I chant your name, I forget everything else. So he has given up his sannyasa dharma. Because he has advanced so much in bhakti, that all he is doing is Nirapeksha platform bhakti. Another example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A sannyasi should never eat very luxurious food. A sannyasi should not have a storehouse or an almirah where he is storing stuff. But whenever Raghav Pandit from Panihati and his sister Damayanti, when they used to cook something and send to Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu used to store it for 1 year. And daily he used to eat. And from there only the ants came out, which one person criticized. Ramchandra Puri. Now Mahaprabhu, why is he compromising sannyas dharma? Sannyasi should never store. There was one devotee called Govinda. Mahaprabhu used to eat hajmola, alternatively known as haritaki, after meals. You don't start following Mahaprabhu. So he asked haritaki, Govinda gave. Next day he asked haritaki, Govinda gave. Third day he asked haritaki, Govinda gave in 1 minute. He said, "Kaise hai 1 minute?" So I know you are eating haritaki, so I collected 50 and kept. Mahaprabhu said, "Get lost, get married." This sangraha mentality is suitable for grihasthas. Management of economic affairs is suitable for grihastha. You get married and you got married. But the same Mahaprabhu who is rejecting Govinda, he himself is storing Raghavera Jhali. He is storing the snacks. Pata nahi kya snacks tha. That is not described, but he's storing the snacks. So is it not a violation of sannyas ashram? No. Because when you come on the platform of prema, the rules and regulations of brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas are not applicable. That is nirapeksha devotee. Mahaprabhu was ready to compromise sannyas dharma for prema. Raghav Pandit, when he will make something and give it, is not possible that Mahaprabhu will not honor it. And even if it is, he is criticized in the whole world for doing so, he is ready to be criticized, but he cannot give up his bhaktivatsal nature. That is nirapeksha platform. Are you able to understand, sir?
Yes, Prabhuji.
More you will understand when you read the 7th canto of Bhagavad. Nirapeksha nature. So Prabhupada has created nirapeksha devotees. Prabhupada created nirapeksha. Prabhupada wanted. So this, like for example, when you call me a brahmachari, you cannot expect me to follow the rules and regulations of Daiva Varanashram. There are many other rules which I am not following. But Prabhupada has taught all of us, whether brahmachari or grihastha, to come on nirapeksha platform. So we are following. You understand? Traditional grihastha ashram rules we are not following in ISKCON. We are following or trying to come to the nirapeksha platform. Traditional sannyas rules we are not following. We are trying to. Prabhupada wants everybody to come on nirapeksha platform. Therefore, without ashram. You understand?
One more simple question. Examples of passive state of necessity.
4 Kumaras. They are simply meditating on the Lord, but they are not actively engaged in any service. Passive means always remembering Krishna and never forgetting Krishna. Any other question? Too much to handle?
Yes.
क्या करें introduction? Introduction में ही आ गया है. So take a break. If it is too much to handle, take a 5 minutes break. थोड़ा कुछ. Yes.
Prabhuji, how means it's been very long time. Sun God को दिया सबसे पहले Prabhuji का उसका. It's been very long time. It's at least means 120.6 million years.
At least, yeah.
At least. So how is it like it got broken after that? And just before Kali Yuga getting started, 5,000 years before,
Yeah.
Krishna again gave it. How will it get preserved more? Means because in Kali Yuga we
By Bhagavad Gita as it is, Bhakti Shastri, and your preaching will be preserved. But when you stop preaching and you only distribute prasadam and only do deity worship, it will break.
But this 10,000 year golden age Prabhupada explained that we were
Yeah,
after that.
I don't know. After 10,000 years, what will happen? I don't know. Better you become spiritually advanced and go back to Godhead by that time. Don't be a Sanishta devotee. Either be a Panishtita or a Nirapeksha. Go back to Godhead.
Yeah, I had a very similar question. It came up during my discussion with a colleague who asked me. I quoted this story.
Which sloka?
एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम एवं राजर्षि योग स काले न एवं महता योग नष्ट परम. The second line, So he asked me, how did it disappear? When
Due to lack of preaching. You see, most of the temples in India also, they do not do preaching, they only do deity worship. What is dharma? When Krishna says, it is coming in introduction also. When people feel economic development and sense gratification to be higher than Kevala Bhakti, that is the time when Krishna descends. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir. When people start thinking economic development, sense gratification, and attainment of liberation, and for performing of religious rituals are higher than bhakti, that time dharma ki glani ho chuki. At that time, Krishna or his representative comes. So you can assume very safely that since the time it was given to Sun God, till that time, glani had happened. Somehow people started thinking that sense gratification, economic development, liberation, and religious practices are more important than Kevala Bhakti. So to re-establish this Kevala Bhakti, Krishna again gave Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Doesn't answer your question. Yes.
Prabhuji, but Mahajan Bhishmadev also was there in that. So how can that glani may happen being Mahajan represented over there? Who is well versed in Bhagavad Gita?
Just because an Acharya is there does not mean Kali Yuga will not advance. It will become slow in its progress, but Kali Yuga will continue. Anyway, at that time, Bhishma spoke for 36 days before dying. You read that. He is not speaking Kevala. The knowledge which he gives to Yudhishthira. In Bhagavatam, you will read only some 40 verses, because Bhagavatam picked up Keval verse, 40 verses from what Bhishma told. But most of the things which Bhishma told was not Keval. And Krishna was standing there. So Kevala Bhakti means Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And in the presence of Mahajan, things will happen. Why not? Mahajans are there at all points. Tell me one moment when any Mahajan was not there. Always Mahajans are there. But still, so many times the disciple succession is breaking. And whenever it breaks, it is so important that Krishna comes himself to re-establish it. Or else he sends an Acharya. Most of the times he comes himself. Re-establishment, he does not send Acharya also. He comes himself.
I have one question. There is no parameter that you see the Bhagavad Gita.
We have not yet come to it.
So in that, is it based on six or Diksha? Because there I get confused.
You visited some temple recently?
Yeah. Other thing is, in Bhagavad Gita was spoken practically.
No. Take one question at a time, please. Although this question is not relevant, primarily it is Shiksha-based parampara. Generally, in previous times, Diksha used to be followed by Shiksha. Sometimes Diksha and Shiksha are separate people. For example, if Narad Muni initiates Dhruva Maharaj into chanting of a mantra, he gives him Shiksha also. But people attain perfection by the power of both. Dhruva Maharaj attained perfection by chanting the mantra which Narad Muni gave. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. At the same time, whole life he followed the instructions, Shiksha of Narad Muni. Diksha becomes ineffective if somebody does not follow the Shiksha. And Shiksha is not complete until unless a formal obligation of Diksha comes in from a Prakat Guru. I cannot say Rupa Goswami is my spiritual master. I cannot say Lord Chaitanya is my spiritual master. I cannot say Mahavatar Yogi Babaji is my spiritual master. So from Prakat Guru, Prakat means, have you seen anywhere in the literature where someone has taken initiation from someone aprakat, We have never seen. So Dhruv Maharaj accepted initiation from a Prakat Guru, and then his life became perfect by following the instructions which come along with the obligation of getting Diksha. For example, when you get Diksha, you get obligation, formal obligation. For example, if he does not chant 16 rounds, it's okay. Nahi kiya, nahi kiya. But if some initiated devotee does not chant, it becomes an aparadha. So out of fear, he will chant. Out of fear, he will follow. Out of fear, he will obey. And in result to that obedience, his heart will get purified. Those who have not taken Diksha, their heart will not get purified. Because they are not doing it as an obedience to an instruction which has come. They have not taken formal commitment. Diya to diya, kiya to kiya. Nahi kiya to nahi kiya. कौन उपयोग कुछ नहीं होगा. ज़्यादा बोलेंगे तो टेम्पल या सेंटर चेंज कर लेंगे. That's what is happening in ISKCON. If somebody asks, "Bhai, आप ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हैं? How dare you ask?" So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus both are equally respected. In the Parampara list which you are seeing, which is on page number 40, I think. No page number. After page number 30. So, you see the names of Raghunath and Jiva, they come after Rupa. Serial number 23. But we know that Raghunath Das Goswami was initiated by Lord Chaitanya. But his name comes after Rupa. Why? Because Rupa Goswami was his Shiksha Guru. Jiva Goswami got Shiksha from Rupa Goswami. So, what appears to me after seeing this is primarily it's a Shiksha based parampara. Because Shiksha is given paramount importance without ignoring the absolute necessity of Diksha. Raghunath Das Goswami spent 16 years with Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. He was instructed by Lord Chaitanya, guided by Lord Chaitanya, given Gunja Mala and Govardhan Shila to worship, ordered by Lord Chaitanya, you go and stay near Govardhan. But still, why his name is after Rupa? Because he took primary guidance from Rupa Goswami. So it appears like ours is the Shiksha Parampara, but there cannot be any conclusion here. So therefore I say Shiksha Gurus, Diksha Gurus should be equally respected. Shiksha is necessary for the successful execution of Diksha. And without Diksha, formal commitment in Shiksha is not possible. It's Acyuta Bheda. Okay. You can become an extremist, you can say it's a Diksha based. You can become an extremist, say it is Shiksha based. But the reality is, it's Acyuta. And
Prakat Guru, you will probably listen.
not living Guru. Living Guru.
Acha.
Sometimes you start living in with your Guru, but because you are not spiritually advanced, you make many offenses. Then you start finding faults with your own spiritual master, and then you give up your spiritual master and start the hunt of a new spiritual master. That is living Guru. We are not talking about that. Where people casually keep changing their instructing spiritual masters, Shiksha Guru. ऐसा बोल दिया अब चेंज करेंगे. ऐसा क्यों बोले? चेंज करें. That is not how it works. Of course, if there is a serious problem, we can discuss, but living Guru means the Guru should formally tell, yes, I accept you. That is the meaning of Prakat Guru. Okay, take a 5 minutes break, try to digest it, and after that we have a marathon reading to do. We'll read till 10 a.m. I don't think this way we will complete today.
ओके प्रभु जी, एक क्लास एक्स्ट्रा हो जाएगा क्या?
ठीक है, take a 5 minutes break. Can it be paused, the recording? Live नहीं है.